When you're navigating the complicated world of real estate, you want someone you can trust holding your hand along the way. Here's just the right person and just the right program. It's the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, an advertising feature on AM800. Here's your host and broker-owner of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team, Dan Gemus.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Sunday morning. What is this? Today's February 7th. I have Susan Reaume and Kathy Talbot in the studio with me. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Ben.
Lots coming up on the show today. We're going to talk about the recent Windsor and Essex County real estate statistics that have come out. We're just humming right along. We're going to talk about plaster with the Bedal's Plaster and Drywall with Shayne. We often see plaster in homes, in older homes, and people always ask us all kinds of questions about it. So I figured, hey, let's go to the source, and we'll talk about plaster, which is great. We're going to tell you about a $2.4 million property in Vancouver, which has hit the market, and it's a teardown. Just imagine, $2.4 million property in Vancouver, and it's a teardown.
Huh. Got to be a reason.
There got to be a reason. And, lots of... I can't see much of you both today. I left the house without my glasses. I'm kidding. My sight's not that bad. But it's so funny, because in the morning, I have to tippy-toe out of the house, because the kids are sleeping. They're 4 and 2. Mm-hmm. And Nikki always says, why can't you do a radio show at 7 o'clock at night as opposed to 7 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, we agree with that, Dan.
Yeah, you like that too? And so usually I have all my clothes laid out. Nonetheless,
that's
least
a good
amount of
idea.
steps
Sure.
to the door.
Right.
I do that too.
The better. So washroom, get ready, get my clothes on. I have all my phone and my wallet all there in the bedroom, just so I can, typically in the kitchens, and just so I can walk right from the bedroom to the front door. Walk out, get in the car in the garage, and I pull out of the garage. And Nick always tells me, get your car to the garage the night before so you don't have to make noise.
Good thing for Nikki.
Well, apparently it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
He still had to get in the garage
And
this morning.
So I pull out and close the garage door, and I think, I can't, because my sight's not that horrible. I can still see
Dan,
fine.
I'm over here, Dan. I'm over here.
And I said, do I go back in? I'm like, yeah, no, it'll be fine. You know how this happened? I got glasses when I got into the real estate business. And it started happening when I would pull up to houses and I couldn't, perfectly see the addresses on the houses. Mm-hmm. So you'd start squinting more and more and more. And I'd be like, wait a second. I think it's time to call Dr. Brian Blake.
I decided to try contacts. So, and I have progressives, but I have bifocals,
yes.
right? So I don't know. I didn't know this is how contacts work, at least for me, but one was a certain prescription and the other eye was a different prescription, right? Yeah. And they tell me that they balance each other out, like they make it work. Well, I'm driving at night. I'm trying to see addresses on the houses. I could see really good out of my left eye. So if the house was on the left side of the street, I was fine. If the house is on the right side of the street, I was trying to turn my head like almost 180 degrees to try to see the address out of my left eye. It was awful.
I didn't
like
just drive around
the
block. I'm just kidding.
Drive around the block, turn the car around.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Oh boy.
I couldn't make out the house numbers. It was really funny. Yep.
But you don't
hard.
realize it until you start, as realtors, we start looking for addresses at night or whatever,
and
right?
they're awful on the...
I know.
Like, we've got the 911 signs out in the county, right?
Yeah.
And in the city, half of them aren't lit up. You can't find the number. It's not on the house at all, or it's on the porch, or it's over here. It's on the damn sidewalk.
If you have a house for sale and it's at night, it's nighttime when there's a showing, please turn your lights on so we can see what's going on.
It's really difficult.
But
well, Courtney, it's funny because she'll sit in the passenger side. I'll be driving, and I always keep a flashlight and a tape measure in my glove compartment, right? So the other day, she opens up the glove compartment. She takes out my flashlight. And she goes, "Okay, Susan," and it's got like this huge beam on it, right? So she's driving around right with the window undone, flashing
looking
it up.
for the addresses.
I know, it's like hitting everybody's house. It was so cute.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty smart.
boy, oh boy.
We could get one of those strobe lights on the top of our car. Not strobe lights, but, and you turn it on and it's a spotlight and it just lights up the whole neighborhood and find the house.
Like the police cars.
Like the police cars.
Hey,
yep.
I'm sure they'd love that. Mm-hmm. If we started driving around neighborhoods flashing lights in the houses. That'd be great.
Well, people would remember us.
Yeah, so we finally have our huge indoor charity yard sale location confirmed.
So exciting.
It is extremely exciting. We have the date of the yard sale confirmed. We have the
We have the
charity,
charity.
confirmed. It's been a huge week for us. The location, we'd like to say hello to all the folks over at First Stop Services at 350 Erie Street East.
They've been awesome.
They've been fantastic. So they have a warehouse. Sue, you went over there and took a look.
It's great. Actually, they've got quite a few warehouses, and there's businesses in the city that rent space from them. So they were kind enough to donate their 16,000 square foot warehouse to us, and it's just beautiful in there. Yeah. So it has a nice. Is it called a bay, Kathy? When you put in a transport truck? Yeah.
A dock.
Or the dock. Yeah. So Gary can back up the trailer that we purchased to the dock, and we can unload. I know sometimes when we had our last, our last place, we were unloading all the
Outside and
stuff out in the rain. And it was not good. So we're running and we're trying to help out. So this way we can back right in. And they mentioned to us too that if people need drop-offs, they'll help us out on that.
Fantastic.
So, good stuff.
So this location is just, so you were saying on Erie, just
West of Howard.
west of Howard.
Right. So if you're going north on Howard,
Lots
you
of
would
parking
turn
there?
left. Yep. Yeah, parking's great.
Which is awesome.
Yep.
So thank you to all the folks over at First Stop Services. That'll be fantastic. The date of the huge indoor charity yard sale will be April 2nd. Saturday, April 2nd, which is not Easter weekend, correct? That is the weekend before, I believe.
Easter seems early this
It
year.
is,
But that's
early, yeah.
okay.
It's in March, yeah.
but-
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. And then the charity that we're going to support, so 100% of the proceeds go to charity. We always pick a local charity that doesn't tend to get much as easy of support as some of the larger charities in town. And we are going to be helping the Kiwanis Club of Windsor this year, which is fantastic. And we got word from a fellow realtor in Windsor this week that they were in need of some real serious help. And so we're happy to send the proceeds that way. We've also been invited to help in another charity event with the Kiwanis Club. That'll be happening on April 9th. And for those who don't know what the Kiwanis Club does, they basically help, how can I explain this best, guys? Children in need that can't easily afford to go to
camp.
summer camps.
Camp,
to go to these camps. We had the opportunity yesterday to go and tour the camp, and it's in bad shape. It needs a lot of help.
Yes.
So we're going to be selling some tickets to help sponsor
A child
kids-
to camp.
Child to camp, yeah. So if anybody's open to doing that, then they can reach out to the team. We'd be happy to help.
Yeah.
That's a great cause.
And additional funds too will be put back into the camp for the buildings that are so worn. And of course, counselors are the only people on payroll are the
Yes.
counselors. So
Yep.
everything else,
Yeah, the
We'll
board's
go.
all volunteer. It's pretty amazing. They do
Yeah,
pretty amazing work.
We got to go out there and see it, and it's right local in our own community, and most of us didn't even know it was there, or we've seen the sign but didn't realize what it was, right? And it was started in the 40s after World War II for a lot of the veterans who didn't make it home from the war. So they started it for those kids, and I just think it's phenomenal. I was really impressed, and we're very excited to help some kids get to camp. It's really exciting.
They
Yeah.
said last year they helped 300 kids.
Yeah, and that's our goal this year is
Yes.
300 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be awesome. So we're happy to help with that event on April 9th. It'll be a dinner event at
Cooper's
at
Hawk.
Cooper's Hawk, yeah. And then we have the charity yard sale that we're going to donate 100% of the proceeds to that same club, which is fantastic. So we'll have more information coming out on that. And again, a reminder to all the folks out there, if you do have any donations, items that we can have in this yard sale, so literally people will give us a box of just mixed stuff that they're cleaning out the house. If you can picture it in the yard sale, we'd be happy to come collect it from you. And we have a tractor trailer to fill, 50-something foot, 52 feet to fill. We filled it last year, so we're looking forward to filling it this year. We have about 8 weeks left to go. So
Clean out your cloosets,
clean out your
get to the
closets.
basement. Yeah.
Yeah, some of your cupboards. I found a few things in my cupboard. I've been in this house for 20 years, and I didn't know there was a couple things in the back of this cupboard.
No, we never have. Every single year, Nick and I never have a hard time filling a van
It's amazing.
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
We've all got too much stuff that
It's
we
true.
don't need or want. Yeah,
It's
for
true.
sure.
So last year, we raised over $6,000 in about 5 hours. People coming
bit
through.
busy.
It's pretty. Yeah, it was crazy.
It was
Goes
fun.
by so fast. Yeah, but it's a great time.
Oh, there's videos online of the last couple yard sales, and it's just people swamp. People are lined up outside the buildings.
What time will the doors open, Dan? 8 o'clock?
I would say around 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We'll confirm once we get closer. But right now, our focus is on collecting items for the yards.
Yeah.
We have lost time to figure out all the nitty gritty details for the actual the day of the event. Busy week this week. Sue, one of your listings had tons of offers coming
yes.
in.
Yes.
What do we have? We had 30, almost 35, if not over 35
It
showings
was
in one day.
unbelievable. Yeah, my sellers were so pleased. It was amazing. Over 30 showings. It was on Hanson. And it went into multiple offers. So there were 7 offers.
Yep.
Yeah, it was great. It was funny because at 8 o'clock at night was when the time was decided that everyone would have an opportunity to present their offers. And we got into the house and they said, "My goodness, it's cold in here." And I said, "Well, 15 of them came through between 5 and 7, so the door probably never shut."
Yeah, never shut.
Yeah.
Seriously. You know, we've seen a lot of things. You know, Kath, we've been in this business a while, and I don't know if we've ever seen 35, 36 showings in one
I don't
day.
know.
The day we list a house.
We just had a listing on Turner, and we had about 26.
Yeah,
We
so
had
it's
about
been-
26 showings in a day and a half and multiple offers also.
Well,
It's
and again,
crazy
our,
out there.
our goal is, you know, with the team is to get the word out, and we advertise, you know, the heck out of your listing. And so our goal is to get as many people to your house as possible, as quickly as possible, because the quicker the house sells, the more money you're going to get. And so, you know, Hanson's a great example. They ended up getting a whole bunch over asking.
They were very pleased.
Which was, which was super exciting for them. And the winning offer had 0 conditions. Correct, Sue?
Mine
Which
too.
is
Yeah,
which
yours
is
too,
Zero
Turner?
conditions.
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
cash offer. I know we've talked
Yep.
about this before.
Yep.
People have misunderstandings exactly what a cash offer means, but 0 conditions.
There's no conditions.
Sold
so
firm.
The seller signed that paper, and the sold sign went up that
Yeah.
that minute, which was pretty cool. So you know, and it's stressful for buyers right now, right? Because the other 6 buyers that were waiting, you know,
Yeah,
bated
somebody
breath.
always loses, and
I know.
I hate going out and telling which realtor they didn't get it. I always feel sorry for the ones who didn't get it because
Honestly,
we've been there.
We've been there. And
Yes.
for folks who don't know, what happens is all the realtors will gather in the driveway, usually make small talk about the weather
That's right.
or how busy the market is.
Yep.
Yes.
And one realtor goes in at once. So it's just a big long train. And at the end, the sellers will discuss, and everyone's out in the parking lot,
Waiting.
super nervous for their buyers, and their buyers are texting, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
And then when you see that listing realtor come out with however many folders, you're like, "Oh, is my folder in there? I hope not. I hope
Yeah.
not. Oh, my folder's there." And you likely didn't have a
There
shot.
were a
You didn't
lot
win.
of great, a
But-
lot of great offers. You know, like everyone really, it showed really well. It was in a
Yes.
fabulous area.
That's a very
Yeah.
popular area.
Yeah.
I've got people looking in that area too.
Oh yeah. So that there's no doubt that if someone's thinking of selling in that Hanson area, there's just really no bad area in Windsor Essex right now. There is not a bad area. We need buyers all over the place, right? But there you have it. Okay, when we come back, we're going to go. What's next on my sheet here? The market stats. So we're going to look at the market update. It's been a hot market, even the first part of the year. So we'll take a look at that right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Welcome back to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, a paid program on AM800. Here's your host and broker-owner of the largest real estate team in Windsor, Essex, Dan Gemus.
Welcome back to the show. It's time to talk about the market, the hot market that we have here in Windsor, Essex. It hasn't stopped. It seems like, geesh, for a good over a year now. We've been just humming right along. In the first month, January of 2016, has been a good one for sales. Sales are up 16.49%. So, for example, there were 279 sales in January of last year. This year, 325 sales. Listings are down 18.46%. So, again, there's more stuff selling, but less stuff listing, which is creating the havoc in the market when buyers are just flocking to listings that are popping up. Again, which is good for sellers. it can be a little bit dangerous for buyers at times. So you got to be careful there a little bit. The average sale price, get this, in January of 2015 was just over $173,000. In January of this year, almost $206,000. So almost $31,000 difference in average sale price.
Wow.
From January of last year to January of this year, which is pretty interesting. The most popular style of home is the bungalow or ranch.
Ranches.
Average sale price there, $167,000, followed by 2 stories, which the average price of 2 stories are $280,000. Now, those numbers can be a bit convoluted because there's all kinds of 2 stories, all kinds of ranches and bungalows. You can't really. The average price doesn't really mean much in those.
I was surprised about that average price for ranch. I thought it would be higher.
Well, again, you start looking at stuff from
if you're
from Windsor to it's bungalow and
yeah,
ranch,
but
right?
That's the problem. Bungalow is
it's
just a little 2-bedroom tiny house, and ranch could be
it can be anything. It
yeah,
could be
2,500 square feet. Yeah,
exactly. So those numbers don't really mean much from our standpoint. Now, yeah, those are really the important numbers. Really, it's the sales are up 16.49%, listings down 18.46%. And the average price is up almost $31,000 from January of last year. From $173,000 for a home to $205,000, almost $206,000.
That's amazing.
So, pretty crazy, right? And we're seeing it out there. We're seeing it.
Every day.
Every day. So, before we get to our next segment here, in the bottom of the hour for news with Rusty Thompson, listen to this. It's missing a few shingles. The bathroom wall shows some rot and it needs a paint job, but a tiny home in a Tony, Vancouver neighborhood has been listed for nearly $2.4 million. A price experts say sums up the state of the city's housing market. Now, we can see here in the studio a picture of this house. Yeah. It looks like it'd be a $60,000-$70,000 house here in Windsor.
Yes. It's a little tiny little box.
Yeah. The description posted online Thursday loads a mid-block home in the Point Grey neighborhood with a mountain view on a cherry blossom tree-lined street. The lot is about 10 meters wide. But a veteran real estate agent not connected with the listing called it a knockdown. It's not unusual for the price point, but it's lot value. Whether the home was 40 years or 80 years old doesn't really matter, said Ken Wider with Reaume Select Properties, who has sold homes in the area for 15 years. Unbelievable. Listing agents said they were hired to market and sell the property and would not be giving interviews. Housing affordability has been a hot-button issue in Vancouver and the surrounding region in recent years, as bidding wars have erupted and property values skyrocketed. The average selling price for a single-family home on the city's west side is above $2.5 million. The scorching conditions prompted British Columbia Premier Christy Clark to hint last week that her government will also address housing relief for first-time home buyers when it delivers its budget next month. Now, it makes you wonder, how can a buyer even afford to get into a house when the average sale price is $2.5 million?
Yeah, I'd like to know what their buyer statistics are, like what their demographic is.
We should check that.
I'm going to look at getting an interview with the realtor out that way, because I think it'd be fascinating, because we keep seeing these numbers.
Yes.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, Vancouver has always been.
It's always been up there.
Upper scale for sure.
We've had clients from the Toronto market, and they come up there. They come down here. They sell their condo for $700,000, $800,000. Come down here, buy a mansion, and pocket the rest of the money. And I remember asking our last clients, I said, because really their jobs pay just the same as ours do, and maybe a little bit more, especially government jobs. Yes. These clients were nurses, and they get paid the same as our nurses do here. I said, how does anybody afford a mortgage? They said, Dan, to be quite honest, nobody really, their goal there is not to pay off their property. It's to just pay it down, and then you sell it.
Just live.
Just keep flipping.
The properties skyrocket in value in short periods of time, and then they make money off their values.
Yeah.
But interesting, isn't it? When we come back, we're going to talk plaster.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk plaster because we have a lot of properties that we show that have plaster, and there's a local company here in town that deals with plaster, a lot of it, and they do a great job. And so we're going to talk with Shayne Bedal of Bedal's Plaster and Drywall next, right after this, with the news update.
Is it time to buy that income property? Or maybe even that cottage? The Dan Gemus Real Estate Show is here to help make those decisions. Welcome back to the show, an advertising feature on AM800. Here's Dan Gemus, your host and broker-owner of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team.
Welcome back to the show. Now, as realtors, we often show homes or sell homes that have plaster, and buyers are always asking us questions about plaster. And I said, what better way than to get it right from the source? A local company here in Windsor, Essex, has been dealing with plaster for quite a while, and is a good friend of the team. Shayne Bedal, how are you, Shayne?
Hi, good morning. Fantastic, thanks.
Well, good. Good to have you with us. Shayne is with the Bedal's Plaster and Drywall. We see their trucks all over the place. You've been growing at quite a pace, haven't you, Shayne?
Yeah, we have actually. 2013 seemed to be a brilliant year for us, and we've been on an uptrend ever since.
Fantastic. Why don't you tell folks exactly what it is you do?
Well, we fix and renovate homes, generally starting with something plaster related. We specialize in old homes and water damage. Maybe you have some cracks or flaking paint or need a wall removed, some doors trim. We basically can do an entire interior project, and that's what we do.
There you go. How long have you been in business?
I started plastering in about 96. 98, started doing it on my own, opened Bedal's Plaster and Drywall in 2004.
So you've been at it quite a while.
Yeah. I have a few years under my belt.
How did you learn your craft? Because obviously not everybody can work with plaster, Shayne. So where'd you get started? Yeah,
I worked for a insurance restoration contractor in the 90s and earned a mentorship with Greg Nada and his father. And they were great finishers. I worked with them for a few years, and they taught me many, many things. In fact, just about everything I know, and I'm grateful for them, and that's how I started.
Now, you've been known, and I follow your marketing. It's fantastic. I love it on Facebook. It's been really cool to see. The crew you have working with you, they're known to be pretty exceptional, aren't they?
Super, actually, and the crew who's with us today have a real different disposition on life, I suppose. They're straight up guys. And if you smoke, that's fine. But my guys don't, and my guys very, very little drinkers, and they're just very professional in your home, very respectful, and our customers and me personally, I like them, and I think that's probably the most important element in doing the kind of service we do is you actually have to like us.
And that's huge, because in our business we hear all kinds of stories, don't we, girls, with experiences or bad experiences with contractors.
Or their attitude, or like they're not the easiest to work with or something, but it makes a big difference because they're interrupting your home, your day, right?
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk a bit about plaster, Shayne, and why has the industry moved away from plaster for the most part?
Yeah, plastering was referred to as wet wall. So when a home was plastered, maybe back in the 40s or 30s or whatever the case is, they would apply the gypsum in a wet form onto the wall. So everything is completely hand done. And then as some more contemporary methods evolved, they started to take this gypsum and put it in panels, and then they called it drywall. And drywall still has a gypsum court, just the very same gypsum that you would have in your plaster walls, only would be put up in a more production fashion. And that's how we got drywall. But that's where plastering started.
So obviously it all came about as people were just trying to save time, right?
Save time, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Plastering is very labor intensive for sure.
Now, do you still find people today that are looking to plaster over drywall? Is it still out there?
I think that most people today are not plastering their homes. They're drywalling their homes. It's not cost effective to plaster a home. There might be some people here and there. We don't plaster entire homes. Most people are owning a plaster home and wanting to keep the integrity of their existing plaster, and that's what we're doing most of. But any new home today is typically drywall.
Yes, of course. Is there a benefit to a home, maybe energy-wise, if there is plaster over drywall?
Yeah, for sure. Most homes today are built with half-inch drywall. Plaster homes are typically 3/4-inch thick walls that with sand in the gypsum, and this creates basically a layer of cement on your walls, and it definitely has a better thermal character about it, and also fire. It has a much longer burn time. So if somebody had a fire in their home, it would certainly uphold longer. And I think it's people who own plaster homes enjoy the knowing that somebody physically put this material on their walls by hand, and it's never straight, it's never true, it's never square. It's done all by hand, and people like knowing that.
You know, it's always lots of fun. Again, we follow you on Facebook, and you post a lot of pictures of your jobs as you're working through them. Give us an idea of what's your typical job?
I'd have to say probably the number one thing people hire us for are falling ceilings, and whether that's from gravity or a roof leak or a bathroom up above, it's probably the number one reason people call us. And always plaster related. People aren't typically calling us for a drywall repair. They're calling us to fix that sagging plaster or cracked plaster or texturing for that matter.
What would you say is the difference between Bedal's and the competition?
Yeah, and that was before I opened Bedal's. That was certainly the number one question that I asked myself. And basically, I came up with three important qualities that I wanted to bring to Bedal's, and first and foremost, it's quality and longevity of the work craftsmanship, and dust control is number two, and accountability. And this is why we offer a 5-year warranty on our craftsmanship, and our craftsmanship is certainly something that we're proud of. Dust control is probably the number one reason why people don't hire us. I'm sorry. The dust control is probably the number one reason why people don't renovate.
Yes.
They're afraid of filling their home with dust and debris, especially if they're working on maybe just one room.
Right.
And how do you keep it out of your dishes out of your kitchen cupboard? So we use dust barriers and mask and covering and special machines called air scrubbers that clean the air while we work. And these are the very same machines that if you were having an asbestos abatement job done, they would use to control the asbestos in your home.
Wow.
And that's probably the number one reason why people hire us is because of our great care in dust control. And then finally, accountability. Accountability is in my blood. I never want to let anybody down. And if somebody is not pleased with anything that we've done, I encourage them to give us a call, and they'll never be made to feel that they have to fight for a resolution. I'm always I'll always be there for them.
Which is huge, and that's a big part of a great reputation with the company.
Thank you.
Building word of mouth and everything else. And again, if people follow you on Facebook, they can see all kinds of work that you've done. Referrals. You have some reviews up there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're pretty proud of our reviews. We haven't had anything less than 5 stars, and these customers who are writing these reviews are real customers. They're not friends and family posting great stuff about us. They're actual people that we've have done some pretty big projects for. Facebook, maybe I'm a little bit older and wasn't a big believer in of what
social
Facebook
marketing. Yeah.
does. But to tell you the truth, it does really well, and it does show people exactly what we can do.
You do serve all of Windsor, Essex, correct?
We do, yep. And even pushing up to Chatham if somebody wanted something done there. Additional fees would apply if we had to go out of town, but But for the most part, it's Windsor and Essex County.
If somebody is wondering if you could help them, do you do free quotes?
Oh
market
yeah,
evaluations?
absolutely. Yep. Just give us a call, and happy to go out and see what their problem is and find a solution and give them an estimate. Sure.
Fantastic. If somebody wants to learn more about the company, what information do they need?
They could go to bedals.com. We have a website. It talks a little bit about, just a short and brief, talks about who we are and my character, in fact, the character of our business, the culture of our business. And, they could find us on Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
They could email us. They could,
what's your email address, Shayne, and phone number?
Yeah, it's Shayne. They could email Sarah at bedals.com.
Mm-hmm. And then
and they could give us a call, and that's how most people reach us is 519-738-6868.
Fantastic. Hey, listen, you're doing a great job. Keep up the great work, and we look forward to having you on again to talk all about plastering and drywalling.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thanks, Shayne.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
That's drywall. So there you go, ladies. What are your thoughts on that? Oh, one sec. Your microphones aren't on. 1 second. Oh, there they are. Ta-da.
I think it's really, really nice that you get the craftsmanship.
Yes.
Because you don't hear that anymore. Everything's, slap it together in a hurry and put it up. I really, really like that. And if you go in, and Sue will attest to this too, if you go into some of the nice older South Windsor homes with the cove ceilings and all the rounded archways, they're really nicely done. And they still look like $1 million.
I know. Isn't that
Some
great?
people are just nervous. Well, what if something happens? How do I get it repaired? What do I do? How do I maintain it? Or, it's like anything else. You don't really have to do anything, just paint.
Mm-hmm.
I've just loved watching his growth because, people often comment about how fast our team, has grown over the last couple of years. And it's just such a whirlwind, right? But watching Shayne's company grow and the trucks, his trucks keep multiplying. And
you start seeing them all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
So it's been great, and we've heard nothing but great things from people he's done work for. So congrats to them on their success, and we look forward to having them on the show again in the future. When we come back, we're going to talk about some featured listings, some buyer wants and needs, and we'll get to a couple other things as well, right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
You're in the right place for the best real estate advice in Windsor, Essex. It's the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, a paid program on AM800. Back to the show with your host and broker-owner of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team.
Welcome back to the show at 7:48, almost 7:49 on Sunday morning. We have some featured listings we want to mention. Who wants to go first? Kath, Sue, eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Sue and I did paper, rock, scissors, and I won.
And you won? There you go. You go first.
Went to see a ranch yesterday, a sprawling, I know we use that word sprawling, but it is a sprawling ranch. And it backs onto the canal in Tecumseh, and it is stunning. It's like a vacation resort when you're in, and it's even wintertime. It already looks like a vacation resort there, but it really does. They've got a really nice deck, like a dock, all the way across the lot, and you can dock your boat or your jet skis. Yes. There's a hot tub. There's an in-ground pool. The house has soaring ceilings, all updated to the nines. A gorgeous brand new kitchen. That's coming up probably within a week. I'm really excited about that. All new flooring. The list is endless. Yeah. Everything's been done. The furnace, the central air, the windows,
kitchen's gorgeous.
The bathrooms, the kitchen, full finished basement, lots of room.
2 gas fireplaces.
Oversized garage, lots of parking. I'm really excited about that listing. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up. Mm-hmm. And we have a really nice condo coming up on Boblo. It's stunning also. The views are great. So I'm excited to talk about that, and that's coming up in a couple weeks.
Cool.
And that's it for new listings for me that I'm aware of. I might be getting another townhouse in Amherstburg. That's in the lower range, but that's going to be a hot ticket item as well. We've got people looking for that.
Okay, good. Sue?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I was working with some great folks out in Lakeshore. So we all know Lakeshore is a hot area on St. Peter. And
Yes.
they have a nice family home. It's a nice ranch. And their basement's been done. It's got a play area as well. So they're just doing a few little touches on that. And then we should have that, just some freshening up on paint.
Yep.
Ready to rock and roll. So that's good too. And actually, last week, we also know LaSalle is a big area. So I have a nice piece of property, vacant land on Grandin, and it's listed at 84.9. So a nice deep lot. I think it's about 115 on the depth, 115 feet. So nice to build your home there too. Building's just gone crazy, isn't it, guys?
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't find
believe
property.
it.
And,
Yep.
and they're not. A lot of the builders don't have any model homes. Like we get calls all the time, right? Well, is
They're
there
selling
something
them.
up
Yeah.
that we can
Yes.
see? But they're selling them as fast as they're building them.
Yep.
So we don't even have models to show. Yeah.
Even young folks, that you would think that'd be looking at a resale home, they're just so excited to get into a new build. And with the inventory not being there, this way they can customize. But again, if they can find a lot.
I know.
Yep.
That's just it. And people often ask us if it's cheaper to build than to buy resale. And usually it's not. It's usually a bit more expensive because you have to worry about your grass and your fence and your driveway and it goes on and on and on. But you get what you want, right?
You're probably around the price point of 300. To
Depending
start.
on what you want. Yeah.
Yeah. And you
somewhere
have-
in
there.
Depending, yeah.
You have
Yep.
to be able to wait as well because it's minimum 4 months. I was
months.
talking to a builder this week and he needs 5 months. He
All the
said, I
trades
need
are
5
busy.
months
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yep.
All
To
the
build.
trades are busy.
Yeah.
And you never know what's going to happen with the spring too, because if there's a lot of water, that we could be a big delay. I remember a few years ago when I was at RBC doing mortgages, and a lot of the construction draw clients that I had, things got delayed, and then of course delayed closings on the sale of your home. It
Yes,
and it
it
had a big
snowballs.
ripple effect. No pun intended. Ba-bum.
They've been lucky this year with the mild winter, right? So they've been able to keep going.
Yeah, nonstop work. Yeah.
Unlike the last couple winters, which kind of slowed things down, December, January, February, March. So it's been working in their favor, but it's definitely we have some buyer wants and needs as well. I know we have a lot of buyers looking for various things. Anything we want to mention specifically?
I just met a young guy this week. He's so excited. He just got approved to buy his first home. He lives with his folks, so he's very excited to get out on his own. It's a lot of fun to work with first-time buyers, so he's looking kind of central or east Windsor in the 130s range. We're having trouble finding him something. He doesn't want something that needs a lot of work. And if he can get a little garage, that's a bonus. If he can't, he would still look. But he's very excited to get out there and look. So please call me to sell your house.
There you go. Anything out there, Sue?
Yep. Yes, actually, I've got, speaking of first-time home buyers, it seems to be a big flux on the market just the last few weeks, more so than normal. But yes, for people selling their homes, it's a great, a first-time home buyer is a really good buyer for your home because they're very flexible typically on closing dates.
Yep.
Yes.
They can stay, with their folks so that's always a nice... or they'll move a closing date. If you decide that you find the home that you want and you need your closing date moved a bit, you can always go to that first-time home buyer and they'll accommodate you
Much easier.
most of the time.
Yep, much easier for
much
sure.
easier.
Yep. You don't have to
a
wait
good
for them
point.
to sell something. And we pre-approve them first. So when
yeah.
we bring them to your door that they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Which
and
is huge.
That's really big.
And they're all
yeah.
so excited, right? And the
Yes,
interest rates
it's
are
fun.
just
Oh my
ridiculous.
gosh, they're almost free.
It's unbelievable. We often talk about, a lot of our listeners will know as well, the days that the interest rates were up there.
Well,
right?
interest
18
rates,
and 20%.
18,
yeah.
20%.
normal interest rates should be 6 to 7%, and we're still less than half.
Oh, I've
Still
heard
less than half. It's
2.59,
unbelievable.
2.69 right now.
It's
wherever.
incredible.
Yeah.
Isn't
I
that
know
something?
Kyle takes great care of them. Takes
Oh,
great
yeah.
care of our clients.
He sure does. It's
Yeah.
it's we often talk about the importance of the team, kind of what I'm trying to say.
Putting your arms around
Yeah,
each
exactly.
other and making
we
sure that
all
you're
take care of
well
we
taken
take care of every
care of. Yep.
aspect, right? Which is hugely important. So we have our home stager, we have our mortgage person, we have our
Speaking of
yes?
home stager,
Oh, yes.
Oh yes, Monica.
yes.
Ha-
Shout out
happy birthday, Mona.
It was yesterday. She's 32.
32. Wow,
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yes.
She's celebrating in
In
Quebec City
Yes.
Yeah.
right now, which
How
is
beautiful.
fantastic. So I hope they're having a good time. We're very jealous. So bring back. She's posting pictures, and I said, "Oh, I've been. Have you guys been to Quebec?
I've
It's
never
gorgeous.
been.
Oh, it's a
I always
gorgeous place.
hear.
Beautiful place." And they took the train down there and had a nice little ride. So we're
Is she back
we're
tonight?
excited.
I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I have somebody I wanted to go see. Yeah. Okay. Hurry back, please, Mona, but have fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that funny? So there you go. We're gonna wrap up the show as soon as we get back here, right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Welcome back to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, an advertising feature on AM800. For more details on today's guests and show topics, or to listen to past shows, visit the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team website at dangemus.com.
There we have it. I'm gonna go home and put my glasses on. How's it going there, Kath? Okay.
I know, this is Sue.
Very funny. Yes, very funny. So I forgot my glasses. And
You do have issues with glasses. I mean, it took you how many
know.
months
To
fix
them?
the arm?
Yes.
I'm telling you, I know the arm was driving me nuts, but alas, here we are. So I'm gonna go home, put my glasses on.
Have you ever tried contacts?
No, it freaks me out just putting my finger in my eye.
It took me a long time
It's-
too to
no,
get used to them, but
scares
I
me.
love them.
That didn't bother me at all. Do you want
No?
to borrow mine? I still have them in the
No,
cupboard.
Oh goodness.
Oh,
You can
boy.
try it.
Hey, listen, everybody. Thank you for listening. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home, the Dan Gemus team would love to help. We'd love to come out there and get you a free home market evaluation. We'll walk through, tell you what to do, what not to do, and oftentimes it saves you lots of money. So we'll be happy to do that for you. Give us a call, 519-566-5565. 7 days a week. We're open 7 days a week. And our website is dangemus.com. Thank you for not for watching, but for listening, everybody. We will see you next week.
You've been listening to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, an advertising feature on AM800. If you've thought about selling or buying a home in the future, the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team would love to help. Visit the team's website at dangemus.com or call the office 7 days a week, 519-566-5565.